As I was saying, we're passionate about road safety. We have a very ambitious vision to achieve zero road deaths and serious injuries on UK roads. This vision is shared with UK Road, our trading company, which operates the National Driver Offender Retraining Scheme on behalf of participating police forces. No one organization can achieve such a vision on its own, and the contribution that the Trust can make is by having an impact through its funding of practical measures, research, dissemination, and education. The arrow on this slide reflects the key steps that a project may take to realize a tangible difference on the roads. Next slide, please. This is our recently refreshed strategy map, which shows how every aspect of our work feeds into this purpose and vision, starting with our code of ethics, values, and foundations. The 5 strategic priorities illustrate our areas of activity: intelligence that defines, research that informs, pilots that test, dissemination that reaches, and advocacy that influences. As a team of only 2.75 FTE staff and a board of volunteer trustees, fulfilling these 5 priorities would be nearly impossible if we did not work in partnership with other organizations, primarily with our grantees, but also with Road Safety GB for dissemination, Facts for advocacy, UK ROED, and our membership. We are all working together towards the same goal. Next slide, please. We're pleased to say that currently we are the largest funder of road safety research and initiatives in the UK. So far, we've awarded around £5.5 million of grants to over 70 projects, 34 of which have already completed. Next slide, please. As a charitable organization, we must be able to demonstrate the difference our funding makes. And I would like to take a minute here to introduce our impact wheel. You might have already seen it in our impact report published last year. The impact wheel is tailored to the Trust to measure and convey the impact of our funding. It's based on the Safe System approach and puts the Trust's vision, zero road deaths and serious injuries on UK roads, at the center. This is the imperative at the center of the Safe System approach, and it makes it the perfect approach for articulating the impact of our funded projects. The change mechanisms that you see listed around the model, such as leadership and monitoring and evaluation and innovation, relate to the elements within the projects which contribute to this vision. Next slide, please. This graphic captures the impact of our closed projects so far. As projects complete, they will be added into this framework for us to report against on a regular basis. Every one of our stakeholders has some ownership of our impact as a grant-giving trust. So whether you're in the police, UK Road as our only funder, or whether you're one of our grantees or wider supporters, we could not do this without you. Our hardworking staff and grants committee look carefully at the potential impact of projects at the application stage, and meeting our charitable purpose depends entirely on us making a difference together with you. I'm now going to ask Louise, our Grants and Impacts Director, to join us to introduce our latest grant theme, Fitness to Drive. Next slide, please.
Good afternoon. This year, our main grants programme is on the theme of Fitness to Drive. And to be eligible for funding, projects need to focus on fitness to drive as it relates to one or more of these areas only: diabetes, dementia, sleep and fatigue, or illegal and prescription drug use. Next slide, please. The topic of fitness to drive was identified as a priority area of focus through a survey consultation with stakeholders. As fitness to drive is such a broad theme, we commissioned a scoping review to help determine which specific areas within this theme we should focus on. The scoping review, written by Dr. Carol Hawley and Helen Wesson, provides very useful information about the research that currently exists about fitness to drive and a series of recommendations about where more research and work needs to be done on this topic. Next slide, please. A few really important things to highlight about what projects should focus on are that this programme is for drivers or riders of any motorised road vehicle. By that, we mean drivers and riders of power two-wheelers, cars, vans, or lorries. And it's not restricted to older drivers or riders. Projects can be for any age. This definition also includes commercial driving or riding, and it's not for cyclists, e-scooter users, or any other form of road transport currently outside of a regulatory fitness to drive framework. Next slide, please. In this round, funding is available for research and the development of innovative practical interventions. Projects, including research projects, need to have a practical focus and must develop evidence-based tools and interventions in the topic areas of fitness to drive. And the project design should give careful thought to gaps in evidence and differences as a result of demographic factors. Next slide, please. As just mentioned, projects should develop evidence-based tools and interventions in the topic areas of fitness to drive. Examples include self-assessment tools and support for drivers or riders, assessment and screening tools for health and other professionals, or better guidance, training, education and support for health and other professionals. Next slide, please. To apply, you need to be based in the UK, and local public sector organisations, charities, community interest companies and universities are eligible. Further details about who is eligible are given in the guidance. All projects should involve partnership working, and this should be clearly demonstrated throughout the way the project is designed, developed and delivered. Next slide, please. Here are some top tips to help you with your application. It is really important that you clearly set out your project aims and set measurable road safety objectives, and that you explain how the project will improve road safety. This is the first criteria we look at and is the most important. Partnership working is another really key criteria, and we expect to see some degree of this in all bids. The more you can tell us about the role and contribution of partners, the better. Grant funding is an opportunity to try things and learn about how and why they work, and indeed if they work. We ask all our projects to demonstrate how they will share any learning, for example through reports and practitioners' guides. We also ask you to think about how you will tell people about and make available any tools or interventions that the project will develop. We have a partnership with Road Safety JP, who host all project reports on a dedicated section of the Knowledge Centre, and many of our projects have taken up the opportunity of presenting at RSGB conferences, and so this is a good thing to include in your bid. A commitment to sharing what you've learned and what you have delivered is sometimes missing from applications from more local projects and can be a reason why a project does not receive a grant. Working together in this way, we can say collectively we have made a difference through what's been learnt about road safety and by influencing road safety practice or policy. Next slide, please. Costs are obviously a very important part of your bid, and we ask for a budget as part of your application. Please make sure that this includes a nice amount of detail, such as rates and numbers of days for staff costs. We don't fund 100% of project costs, so you will need to find some other source of funding. This can be from you as the applicant and can include in-kind contributions, such as your own office's time. We only fund direct project costs for public bodies and universities, so we don't fund those additional overheads, such as a proportion of estate costs or a proportion of management costs not directly involved in managing the project. Please refer to our guidance for further details. The other thing to stress is that our funding is for project costs and not what we refer to as core costs, which are general organisational running costs. Sometimes we receive applications which look like they are for funding to underpin an organisation's main activities rather than for funding for a specific project, and these are not eligible. Next. Finally, there is a free offer from us to provide funding for evaluation support, including up to 2 days training for staff, and you can apply for these costs as part of your application. No one has taken us up on this offer yet, so please consider whether funding for training in evaluation would be useful. This training could not only support the delivery of the project, but also help with some capacity building for road safety evaluation in your organisation. Next slide, please. How to apply. Applications are made online via a portal on our website, which opens for this round this week, on Thursday, the 8th of September. All applications must be made online in this way. You will need to register and set up an account and complete a short eligibility quiz. This quiz is designed to save your time in applying if your project is not eligible. Applications close on the 19th of October, and you should hear a decision in February. The total budget we have for this round is around £1 million. Next slide, please. Where can you find further support with your application? Firstly, please look at the guidance on our website. This guidance for applicants includes further information about the 4 topic areas that can be applied for. We know a lot of work goes into developing and writing applications, so please do read the guidance thoroughly. It has been designed to help you clearly identify if your project is eligible and how to put together a project that meets our criteria. Please also refer to the scoping review, which has more information about the topic areas and a very useful executive summary. In our guidance, there is a list of organisations who can help with evaluation, and as mentioned earlier, you can apply for funding for evaluation training and support in your application. You can book one-to-one appointments of around 20 minutes with us on the 7th or 14th of September to answer any questions you may have about the guidance, criteria and application process. The link for this is on our website. As just mentioned, please ensure you have read the guidance first and looked at our frequently asked questions before attending a one-to-one. You can also contact us by email, but bear in mind we are a small team and we all work part-time and it may take a few days to respond to you. If, having listened to this webinar, you have decided you are not eligible to apply under Fitness to Drive, please keep an eye out for details of next year's small grants round, which will open in spring 2023, and our next large funding round, which will open in the autumn, and which is open and can be on any topic. Next slide, please. Thank you very much for watching this webinar. We hope it's been useful. Good luck with your application from all at the Road Safety Trust. And now we have a few minutes for questions. Please remember to use the Q&A rather than the chat function for any questions you might have. Thank you.